Okay, so fine. So can you tell me like in MuleSoft if I want to invoke Java code, then what all process you need to follow to call Java code from your Mule application?
We have a invoke activity to call this Java code. We can write a classes methods.
Okay. So you are talking about when we want to invoke Java library or when you want to invoke this Java code what we write inside src main Java.
Yeah, in SS main Java invoke. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So before invoke, do we need to do anything or like directly we can do invoke?
Um, mm, I'm not confident on this. I did not do this in MuleSoft.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So can you tell me different kind of scopes available in Mule 4?
We have a cache scope for each and scatter gather. Uh, yeah, we have a batch scope. Yeah,
Have you heard about this flow, subflow, private flow?
yeah, flow. Yeah, I have knowledge of that.
Okay, can you tell me difference between flow, private flow, and subflow?
Flow nothing but it has a event source and message process, and it has its own error handling. Private main flow we can implement logics, and we can invoke we can get a call from any source systems by having event source, and we can do the exception handling also in flow. Coming to the private flow, it doesn't have a event source, but it has its own error handler, and without event source we have message process only. Mm, Subflow is nothing but a without event source and error handler. It is like only it have event process. It doesn't have any error handlers.
Okay. Okay. So can you tell me what is watermarking and how we can achieve watermarking in MuleSoft?
Watermark is basically for a file or a DB kind of interacting with the files and DBs we can use for avoiding the duplicate records. To pick that for that purpose, we can use the watermarking. Mm, Same record, it won't take the multiple times while polling or while querying the tables.
Okay. Okay. So in MuleSoft, how you work in batch processing?
Batch process, whenever we have a large files processing, we can use a batch job, or we can go for each also. But a batch is a good because compared to for each, we have a process the message in a parallel batch step. Each batch we can do that in parallel. We have in batch job we have a batch process and a batch step and on complete. These three things will be there. Whenever we have to make a call to the file, we can create a batch size. How much some each batch, how many records we need to process, and we can define the batch step, and in the batch step we can define the policy like it is only allow all success records or all records or failure records, and each records will be validated and processed, and the in aggregator also we can use in aggregator it to accumulate the data, and it will once the all the records bulk update or streaming or bulk update, it will do in aggregator. and on complete phase, once this records process the file will be processed, then how many are success, how many are failure, that a report will be there in on complete stage. There we can do the actual means that we can generate a notification or the further actions of what we have to do, take care on the file, like that we can do in on complete.
Okay, so in batch processing, we have one scenario where you are reading file from file system, you have thousands of record and you are inserting in database. Okay. Now while
Mm,
inserting few record failed. Okay, that can
mm.
be like you have incorrect data or that can be some other region. So how you will handle those failed record?
That failed records, I will create another batch step only for failed record for reprocessing. If it is a database issue, means technical issues, we can retry inside a batch step. We can do the repeat until true, three times retry the scope we can add. If it is still failing, then we can exit from the batch. There is no point to process the remaining records, or and we can handle that. For technical, there are two type of failures. Basically, we will have one is a technical and a business failure. So if it is a business failures, then we can skip the record and do the processing for the further records. And for if it is a technical issues like database not able to connect or not able to get a connection, so in that case, I will do the retries by using repeat until, and if still it is having issues, then we can terminate the flow and yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so you know what is RAML and like can you tell me like what all components RAML contains?
RAML is REST API modeling language. It is it starts with a title and version, and it has a URI path, what type of protocols it will support, HTTP, HTTPS, and what are the resources, methods to interact with the what are the resources and methods, and what type of headers so we have to headers required to make a call to this API, and what are the responses it is providing. Is a success 200 and response status codes, a response structure, and these things will be there. Error, if it is error response, how is error response structure, error codes, and how many resources it will means by query parameters or URL parameters, or what are the methods, it is a get or post, port, patch, different methods, how it will be, all these things will be there in a RAML.
Okay. So in RAML, how you can create reusable components?
By using fragments, like for examples, for sample example, referring the examples are headers, are resources, also resource type, we have a reusing the resources, and for securities also we have the fragments we can create.
Okay. So and what is traits and data type?
Traits, traits is nothing but a function type of that we can creating databases reusable to we can use that. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So have you worked on any policy or security on MuleSoft?
Yeah, I have worked on multiple policies in MuleSoft, what JWJSON Web Token, and basic authentication, client enforcement policies, and throttling. Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell me a difference between JWT token and OAuth?
Yeah, what is a authorization protocol? Basically, it is it has a client. It interact with the first. It don't directly interact with the resource server. In between, we have a authorization server. First, we have to make a call to the authorization server to get the call from the authorization to get the token from the authorization server. And by using that token, again, we have to make a call to that. Authorization server to get the session to make a session session to session get the connectivity. Authorization server will make a call to the resource server, and the resource server will validate again, give the response back to the authorization server. If it is fine, then it will give the make a connection to the client. This process will do happen in a what, but coming to JW token, JSON web token is nothing but it is a generation of token kind of thing. It is here also same, we have a authorization server. It is basically we can use for generating the tokens. Inside a what, for generating token we can use a JWT.
Okay, fine. Okay, so like when you are developing API, so what API lifecycle you follow? Can you tell me in detail?
uh, API lifecycle nothing but it contains first design. We have a different phases in API lifecycle. One is first we have to design our API, and then after design get approve means the feedback, everything we have done. Then we can go for implementation. And implementation, the unit testing and implementation comes in a implementation only, cover an implementation. After that we can go for a means phase-wise testing and deployment, and managing the API. After deploying, we have applying a policies and securities and pairing that API. That comes in a management, and providing and creating alerts. Uh, yeah, these are the life cycle of that API. In coming to the design, we by using the RAML we can create our API. And once the RAML is approved, we can share that, we can share to the feedback to the product owner or architect from the client side. And if they are fine with that, then we can go for implementation phase. If any they suggest any feedback, like to modify the existing means, so to make changes on the existing RAML, then we'll again make the changes and submit that changes again to the for review. Once that it is fine, then we can do into the exchange. We can publish the RAML into exchange, and then after we can implement the actual code by using the RAML. Skeleton scaffolds will create, and logic we can implement and do the unit testing after the coverage, how much coverage for our flows. And after that we can create a pairing API auto discovery, for deployment purpose of pairing to the management, uh, API management. These things will do. Once that is done, then we can move for deployments, for managing our API, applying a policies on top of that API, and creating alerts. All these things will happening in management.
Okay. Okay, so what kind of API you have developed? You worked only on REST API or you have experience on SOAP API also?
I did not get chance in MuleSoft. Other technologies I have implemented in Arkel, Sova, and TIPCO. I have knowledge on SOAP also.
Okay, okay. So you have exposure on TIPCO and Oracle SOA also.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so can you tell me a few difference between this REST and SOAP API?
Um, REST is basically for architecture style. SOAP is like a protocol based, and REST supports different type of formats. It supports XML, JSON, kind of thing, and but SOAP only support XML type, and it have its own securities, WS securities. And in REST we have many other securities we can use for exposing. And for REST is basically for fast, and SOAP is like a heavy. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of okay, you mentioned like you haven't developed SOAP API in Mule, correct?
Yeah, I haven't developed. Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever worked on Mule 3?
uh, I did not get a chance to work on that.
Okay. And you know what major difference we have in Mule 3 and Mule 4?
Yeah, I know few differences. Yeah, we have a by default in MuleFor we have a Maven project it will create. There we have separately add a Maven kind of thing, and a message enricher also there in Mule 3. Here it was a transform, and a error we have a catch. Some these activities will be there, but in we have a on error continue on process. These are there in our new MuleFor. Yeah, the Mule expression language is there. Here we have a that is not there here in for.
Okay. Have you worked on MUnit?
Yeah.
Okay. So in MUnit, what exactly we do and what is MUnit?
Unit basically once our development is done for unit testing perspective, we can use unit. We have a different means we can create a unit in multiple ways. While right clicking on the flow, we can create a unit test case, and otherwise we can create a project, and there we can create a unit. This one, and there we can create we are basically there we can have a behavior, and different type of sections will be there for ascertaining behavioral, and by using this one we can mocking our service, we can do mocking, and we can in assess session we can validate the what are the responses we are getting actual responses with our expectation response. So we can compare there, we can write the assertions on that, and yeah, these things we can do, and we can basically high levelly for unit testing perspective how exception handling, how it is behaving for a happy path, how it is behaving for the coverage activities, how much coverage it is performing, and these things we are doing in M unit.
Okay. In MuleSoft, what kind of error handling we can do?
We have a different we can handle errors in multiple ways. We have a generally for global error handling we can use for across the flows, means it is generic one, it is across the flows we can implement this one, and flow level error handling will be there, and default error handling will be there. We have first priority whenever error comes, it will verify in the global error handler will be there. If it is not there, then it will go for a flow level. If it is flow level also not there, then it will take the default error handling.
Okay. And what components you will use to do this error handling?
Yeah, we have a generally for business errors through activities will be there. For in error handler path, we have on process error on a errors.
Sorry, actually, I think my internet connection I lost. So okay, so can you tell me again? So what you mentioned for this honor
Yeah,
propagate and honor continue?
yeah. Another propagate basically whenever error occurs, it will execute the event processor in that scope in the flow, and it will rethrow the error to the it will generate the error response to the source system with the error status code is based on error status code. Error response it will return. On error continue means it will execute the activities or event process in that on error continue flow once it is received, and it will generate the success response to the source system, and it will execute the next activities also. If you are calling the it is we are handling into the subflow, it will on the main flow next activities will be executed if you use on error continue.
Okay. Okay, so we have one scenario where we have parent flow and child flow. We are calling
Okay.
this child flow from parent flow, and child flow contains on error propagate, and parent flow contain on error continue. If there will be any error in child flow, then what will happen?
Any error comes in child flow you will throw the error response to the parent flow. Parent flow having any you have an error continue, right? Again it will go to the error path, and an error continue will execute, and it will execute the next activities. uh, uh, no, it will generate the error response.
So no. First, from child flow to parent flow, what will parent flow will receive error or success?
Error response it will receive.
Okay. Now what will happen in parent flow?
Parent flow it will again through a parent flow under continue block will execute,
Okay.
and it will generate a success response.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So you know what is SLA?
SLA, service level agreement. Yeah.
Yes. So can you tell me in detail what is SLA and how we can apply SLA in MuleSoft? For example, we have one SLA. If means like customer can't call us more than 30 times in a minute.
Yeah, we can apply a policy. We have SLA based rate limiting policies we have based on a customer different customer different SLAs we can configure. More than that, if we call that request will fail, request won't receive the application that will fail.
Okay, fine. You know what is object store?
Yeah, I know. For object store, basically for temporary means it is like a first we have a storing the keys and name value pairs for during implementation we can use for object store. We have different type of object store v1 and object store v2. V2 basically it is for a standalone storage. It is across the workers we can use, but if you use the v1 object store v1, it will inside the worker, it will store on a RAM, and it will dedicate to that worker only.
Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, thanks for your time. So I'm done with my interview. Do you have any question?
I would like to know what are the next step to me in this
Okay,
process.
okay, fine. Yeah, thanks. We are done with this. Okay, so
Yeah.
here, like your part, most of the things looks good. I will say 10, like out of 8 out of 10 for this entire process. Most of the answer you answered very correctly, and I don't know like how many years of experience you have in actual.
10 years experience.
10 year. Okay, okay, that's why your way of explaining things were very good. And yeah, no matter you are from different technology, but I think you did lots of practice in MuleSoft side. Okay, so yeah, most of the thing you answer, whatever answer you have given, it's correct only. Few places I observe like you should improve yourself. So first one is third question. So in MuleSoft, like we have two way to include Java code. If you are writing Java code inside SRC main Java, then you can use this DataView to include that Java class and you can call their method. Another way we have, you need to create Java new operation and then you need to use Java invoke operation, but you mention only Java invoke. So before that you need to create Java, you need to call Java new to create uh, to create sorry to call that sorry to create new object, then only you will able to call their functions. Okay, so this
How can I create Ravish? You said from Java new, right? Yeah.
yes, first Java new one operation will be there inside Java
Okay.
connector that you need to use
Okay.
first. Sorry, not Java connector, it's a Java component, MuleSoft component. So first you will use Java new, you will create one object using that, and then you will use Java include to call their operation or method.
Okay.
Okay, next
I will
fourth
follow
question,
that.
different type of scope in Mule 4. So you startly you mentioned like this parallel for each, but you missed a very important flow, that is flow, subflow, and private flow. I when I asked, then you answered, but that should be your first components since these are like most widely used component and very important component.
You asked to scope, right? Scopes.
No, I ask when I ask what you know scope, uh, scope private flow. Sorry, yeah, you know private flows. So that is also scope only, no? Private flow, then
Oh,
flow, subflow. So these all are like important components of scope.
okay. Okay.
Okay, that you should mention by yourself. I ask, then you answer. So
I thought only this
no,
batch
you
for
can
each.
no batch is not a scope. So what you can do here, you can go to this MuleSoft Anypoint Studio and you can check how many components are there in scope.
Okay,
Okay.
man.
Okay, fine. So after that, other questions are good. 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 number each. Okay, traits. So traits actually, traits is also reusable component. So you need to define in such a way. Traits you given definition, but it
Are you
was not.
sharing screen, Kavi?
Oh, let me see. So trait one you answered, but that was not perfect answer. So you should start with like traits is a reusable component. Okay. So for traits, you should mention like traits is a reusable component of MuleSoft where we define header, query parameter, URI parameter, and we can use in RAML. Okay, in multiple resources. And if you want to like reuse in multiple RAML, then you need to create traits inside fragment. Okay.
Okay.
Then
Fragment also we can by
yeah,
using.
that is also reusable component, but fragment you can use in multiple RAMLs. Okay, traits generally we use in single RAML, but if you define traits inside fragment, then the traits can be used in multiple RAMLs.
Okay.
Okay, and then 8 question good, 11th sorry 8, 9, 10, 11 good, then 12th one REST API versus SOAP API. Okay, that you answered. I think yeah, you answered correctly only. But the thing is, you mentioned you haven't worked on SOAP API in Mule in Mule 4. So at least you should know what all connectors are there to consume any SOAP service.
Yeah, we have CX connectors will be there, right?
No, no, SOAP service consumer.
CW.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, so yeah.
SOAP service
CW.
So that connector, at least you should know, like we have this connector and we can call this. You mentioned clearly you don't know, you haven't seen. So this is like, means many places you
Oh,
have to work on SOAP service. You should have understanding.
okay.
Okay. So after that, yeah, objective, other things were good. Okay. So
Ravi, for implementation point of view, REST and SOAP, any differences? Is there any difference? Is there only instead
no,
of
only
connectors
only router.
configuration?
Yeah, connector configuration will change, and then in case of REST service, it will create REST. This API kit router, REST API kit router. In case of SOAP, it will create SOAP API kit router.
SOAP also we have SOAP kit router.
Yes, yes. Other thing will be exactly same. Since this
Okay.
like MuleSoft support XML, JSON, everything. Okay.
Hmm.
So implementation side there will not be any difference. Only connector side there will be change.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Then overall, like I will say 8 out of 10. Most of the answer you answered very perfectly. So I think you are ready for this interview and all. So you can start applying.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, fine. Then I think we have today very less candidates. So let's close our session now. Okay, and we will connect tomorrow on same time, and we will arrange one more mock interview.
Hi Ravi.
Yeah, hi.
Uh, Hi Ravi, can you